My name is Maria Irene Perruccio. I'm Italian. I'm double qualified here in Paris and in Milan in Italy. My company is the largest construction group in Italy. We are a family of about 80,000 employees, and we have a portfolio of works of a few billions euros, depending on the years. For my company, the main challenges, I would say, are mostly at the outset of an arbitration, and I would say there are mostly three. For us, it's very important to select, maybe four, a good counsel, select a good expert that can work well with a counsel, and select a good arbitrator when we have the opportunity to, of course. Especially the selection of the arbitrator is very important. And number four is to keep the cost under control. So as you can imagine, Jus Mundi is extremely useful in the selection of number 1, 2, 3. So in the selection of counsel, because you type in, you have a ton of information, selection of experts as well, which is something I have to say I was not very experienced in, sorry, like pun not intended, and especially selection of arbitrators, because you put your case in the hands of these professionals and you want to know what their experience is. As we all know, arbitration is quite an opaque market. Not all the information are available, and if I had the chance to work with an international law firm before, and they have a pretty big, pretty large network, so it was very easy when I was there. You know, you send it to arbitration all, you ask information about a candidate and you receive a ton of feedbacks. When you work with smaller firms, that's not the same. They don't have the same access to information. And I think that Jus Mundi, by putting together all the possible available information, are rendering access to information in international arbitration more democratic, especially when it deals with selecting an arbitrator. So definitely very useful for us. The biggest added value, I would say, is mainly on the selection of the arbitrators. Because, again, you work with big law firms, they have more information available because they can rely on a larger network of their own firms, their own experience, etc. But in certain countries, we work with local counsels that are not the typical big American Anglo-Saxon law firms, and they don't have the same access to information. So sometimes it happens that, most of the time, it happens that thanks to Jus Mundi, I can complement the information that they have on the possible candidates that we are considering. So since the selection of arbitrator is a team effort, right, between the internal legal counsel and the external counsel, we definitely complement each other in this work, and Jus Mundi is very useful in this respect. The first one I have to say did not consider immediately, so it was a very good surprise for me, is Wiki Notes, and it's very useful because, for example, we had a meeting where we had to discuss, let's say, a situation where security for cost could come into play. And since it's not the topic that I deal with every day, it was very useful to just find a page on Wikinote ready to be read and shared with my colleagues, and very exhaustive with all the information we needed. So that's number one. Number two is certainly Jus Connect. So the archive of arbitrators' profile. Again, a very rich collection of information about the cases that dealt with other related documents that concern public information about the candidates. And also, I would say very importantly, the conflict check system that Jus Mundi offers, because especially when it's someone else who appoints or nominates a member of the panel, opposing party or the institution, well, it's very important to verify that that candidate really disclosed all the possible information that might or might not one day create problems as to enforcement of the award or problems related to challenges. So that's really one of the reasons why in the end we decided to subscribe to Jus Mundi services. The way I convinced my management to unlock the necessary funds to subscribe to Jus Mundi was to explain to them that access to information in international arbitration is not so democratic yet. For better or worse, it is what it is. And I think that really Jus Mundi can count on, I would say, probably the largest collection of data possible, especially on arbitrator's profile, which is what in the end matters the most, at least in my personal opinion. So definitely I explained to my colleagues how unique this opportunity was, and also thanks to the Jus Mundi staff who provided very clear, very convincing chart of comparison with other services, they decided to go for Jus Mundi because it was definitely, like the quality price ratio was definitely the best.